and welcome to the World Session for February 13th, 2024. Happy pre-Valentine's Day and Valentine's Day week. You can check out my Dose of Truth Tarot. I'll be posting a Valentine's Day video, but I've also got the video for the week in case you want to watch that. And please like, share, subscribe, share with your friends, ask some questions, see if you have something that you want me to work with in the world session so I can focus on that activity. Today, we're going to focus on our Kundalini, which is also known as sexual energy or life force energy that comes into our body. And we need the Kundalini energy to be working properly so that we get our energy and that it helps deal with all kinds of stuff in our bodies. Kundalini can even burn out, disease in the body. So we're going to do huge energetic work today. And what you can do is just feel your sits bones as you're sitting. If you're lying down, that's fine too. You can just breathe into your second chakra, the sex chakra. That was an interesting, I took a really big inhale on that one for some reason. So something's going on in that second chakra that's really looking for space. So I'm just going to tap that through. So bringing that air, that energy down to the second chakra, really opening up the pelvic floor, the perineum, and really supporting those original cells in the body that are just above the perineum, and they're in a geometric pattern. So I'm looking at the geometric pattern now and making sure that it's constantly balancing itself, and those original cells are functioning really nicely, and they're getting that good energy coming up through the microcosmic orbit, down through the Sushumna. We've also got the pranic tube. We've got so many energies. We've got the energy fields. So we really want to feed all of this so that it's also feeding our cells. And just breathe. You might be feeling like a surge of energy coming in already. I'm definitely feeling that this is a beautiful energy to be working with today. And of course, tomorrow's Valentine's Day. So a great day to have the sensual, sexual energy balancing in our bodies. I mean, it's wonderful to have somebody in your life, but it's also wonderful to have our own masculine and feminine energies balancing in a harmonious way. So I'm going to go to the navel now. You might want to do that. I do this every day, actually. So, there's a big ritual I go through in the shower, which is using a loofah to draw all of the lymph fluid, just to really detoxify. You go in circular motions down through the lymph area here. There's lymphatic tissue, and then bring it over and dump it into the spleen. Then you go down to the bottom of your feet, bring it up, go through the belly. Fantastic. But there's another thing you could do if you're not already massaging your body and draining out the lymph. You could also massage your belly, which is really, really good for the colon. So you can massage crosswise, round in circles, go in the direction of your colon. Of course, it's a good idea to do that. So you draw up the ascending colon, go down the transverse and across, but you can also massage this way and then massage downward. It just feels really good, and it helps, open up the tissue, helps your digestive system. And the third one I do is I take my finger, put it into my navel, and pull, go very gently in different directions, just go along and see where there's a knot. And then when I feel there's a contraction in the tissue, I will pull. Well, I can tell you I have a really deep innie, and I've never gotten to the end of my innie in my entire life. And I've been doing this for about a month now, is massaging the inside of the navel. And all of a sudden I found the end of my innie. It's just like, wow, I didn't even know it was there. I used to, even when I was a little kid, I used to think that if I went too far, I was going to go into my guts. But, obviously not. It's not it, but It's definitely a strong NE. I don't know exactly how this goes, but when the umbilicus is cut, depending on where it's cut, you're going to have an innie or an outie, number one. Number two, it will also determine whether you're going to be fat or thin. So a lot of people who like, I've been fat all my life, so that's one of the things like, okay, that innie. So it was cut maybe, I don't remember if it's close or far away that creates that problem. And when Dr. John Veltheim worked up, he's like, oh, you have one of those belly buttons that are just way too deep. And, it determines that you'll be fat or thin. I usually notice people who have outies are usually thinner and people who have innies are fatter, but I don't know. We have to look this up and find out which way we should cut it so we know how to cut it for future kids. In any case, despite that, I thought, well, this must be a really good way to work on that navel to help with that belly fat and excess fat. And I am noticing there's also a dropping of pounds at the same time. Yeah, I'm doing a lot of things to help my body out, but the real feeling of energy moving through my body and weight loss and all those things is a combination, not just dieting, not just exercising, not just one thing. It's this combination. And I found the massaging of my body has become the one of the biggest ways to deal with things. And of course, I've mentioned all of you block therapy. You can look that up on YouTube, and you could use a makeshift block, like a yoga block. And if you really get into doing block therapy, you could order your own blocks from the block therapy website. I love these. I love this treatment. It's really, really saved my life when it comes to movement and difficulties, especially respiration. So here we are working with this Kundalini energy, the sexual energy and sensual energy in our bodies, giving us that, allowing that belly to really work well by going through the navel. So we're going to run a program there. We can just run one of these programs. They're called Seedry programs. Going to run that. We're going to allow that navel to open up and really get it to move and tune into that digestive system. So one of the things I'm noticing is our cells. So whether it's has to do with second chakra stuff, which can be bladder, genitals, uterus, all that kind of stuff, or anywhere else in the body, especially lungs, where we might not be feeding the cell properly. So I'm looking at those cells and I'm just going, okay, time for those things to clean out. So we get the brain to search this out, find out where are the cells that are not being fed. Then also bring in the intuition from the gut brain or the sense of what do I need? What do I need? Okay, I'm drinking water. I should be hydrated, but I'm kind of dry. I urinate too often. I'm drinking a lot, but my skin is dry. What's going on? Well, what's going on is your cells are not absorbing. So these are things you can figure out on your own. There's an imbalance in the electrolytes and the salts in the body, those tissue salts. So let's get those tissue salts balanced. And for those of you who find, okay, I'm not getting enough water, you add a drop of pink Himalayan rock salt to your water. Let's say you have a nice big 2-liter bottle, add one grain or a couple of grains, and it's going to help your body absorb that water. And that's not just the only thing that we need to have happening. We need the water, but we also need our water to be moving. It's got to move. It's got to clean things out. It's got to clean out dead cells, toxins. It's got to clean this stuff out. And the more your body is cleaning out, I think the better we feel. So we'll do an increase on hydrogen peroxide for cleanliness. So you focus on what's going on with you. Like I have extra fat cells. I have lung issues. I don't really think I have colon issues. Um, I've been repairing it, but if your feces are too dry or they're too wet, you would have colon issues, and you need to have that water working properly so it's reabsorbed if you're getting diarrhea. And it also means that your second chakra isn't working very well. So let's tap that in again. We're going to bring that energy up. We want it to go into the colon. We want it to go to the lungs. We want that metal element to also relate to the metals in our body, the appropriate metals, and also bring out the metals that we don't want. I've done this many times before using the consciousness of zeolite, which is volcanic. You could also use diatomaceous earth. It has a honeycomb structure, and that honeycomb structure only absorbs big metals. So if you have heavy metal, you want those big metals. The second thing I want to do is parasites and virus. Parasites and virus that can be part and parcel of cancerous tissue, excess tissues that grow. Like as you get older, you start having all these things grow on your skin. But if you see things growing on your skin, you also notice there are things growing inside your body. I'm going to bring a big hydrogen peroxide movement to focus and go into those areas. Whew, that's making me feel really nauseous. So I haven't done a colonoscopy yet, but I kind of always wonder, is there a polyp in there? Is there something in there that needs to be cleaned out? You can imagine how many different things. Now I want to focus on bone too. So we have all these different things on our bones. Like, it's not just always beautifully smooth, especially along the spine. You could get bone spurs, you can get little, nubs of bone. Bone is constantly, it's alive, right? It changes shape, and it changes shape depending on your, how much exercise you're doing, or you could have porous bone. All right, so we're going to look at both. Where I have porous bone, we want bone matrix to fill it up. We did some of this last week. And where we have extra little things like bone spurs, there's some other names too. They're like little bumps that we don't necessarily need, right? The bone doesn't need to be like that, so we can get it reshaped. Of course, it's going to be a little bit harder for someone who is immobile, incapacitated. You're not going to be able to do this as well. But for those of you who can lift weights and do exercise, this is going to work a lot better for you because your bone matrix will be changing shape all the time. Bone matrix responds to weight, right? So we all know that bone builds the more weight bearing the bone is. Okay. So breathe now and just focus on your bones. And just think bone sinew. We want to get this relationship, less, bumpy things going on in our bodies, less lumps and bumps and growths and like skin tags people get, extra little things growing on the body. Think about it on the inside. Your intuition might take you there. Even if it doesn't, we're telling the brain to get us there and get this stuff out of the body. I am going to do a little accent on cancer. So we know that we can have cancer in our bodies at any given time, and then it just destroys itself. It goes away. So it eats something and goes away. But then sometimes it proliferates. So we're just going to make sure that our cancer cells or any activation of the genetic material that would produce cancer is being cleaned up. Let's do that. And remember, this does not replace medical advice. This is just going to help you out along the way, helps your body heal, and whatever other treatments. But do not use this as the only thing. You need a Western doctor, and you need your Chinese doctor and your Ayurvedic doctor. We need a team of people working for this. And I love to give this session to everyone so that, we've got that little extra boost that we need to help us through the week. All right. If you have a negative response to this session, it's highly plausible. We're doing a lot of um, a lot of cleaning up. The thing that could happen you might notice a little bit of nausea. That's a really good time to massage the belly and do your navel. That navel piece. If you get super nauseous, ginger tea, good thing to use for nausea. Then there's homeopathic remedies, or just tap your cortices. And then if the nausea doesn't go away, it could just mean that your body just needs a little bit of time for the toxins to come out. It should not last more than 3 days. If it's more than 3 days, there's something else going on in your system. All right, my loves, have a great week, and I'll see you next week. Bye.